This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away from 11th to 15th of January 2024 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Lynn Marta. She was born in October 1945 and she died in January 2024. Her age was 78 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was cancer. Lynn Marta was a versatile actress and singer with a career spanning several decades, primarily in television. She appeared in numerous popular shows like Starsky and Hutch and Charlie Angels, often playing guest roles. She's also remembered for her film roles as Alma in the Clint Eastwood western Joe Kidd and Lulu Warnicker in the classic 1984 film Footloose. Joyce Randolph. She was born in October 1924 and she died in January 2024. Her age was 99 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Joyce Randolph was an American actress who became a television icon as the last surviving original cast member of the classic 1950s sitcom The Honeymooners. She famously portrayed Thelma Trixie Norton, the sensible and sharp-witted wife of Art Carney's character Ed Norton. Her role as a steadfast friend to Jackie Gleason's Alice Cramden cemented her place in television history. Alec Mercer. He was born in April 1973 and he died in January 2024. His age was 50 at the time of his death and he took his own life. Alice Mercer was an American actor and fitness model who gained prominence after winning the reality television series I Wanna Be a Soap Star, which led to his role as Del Henry on the soap opera All My Children. Known for his chiseled physique, he was a frequent cover model for health and fitness magazines. He also had a memorable comedic role in the Adam Sandler film Grown Ups. Ruth Ashton Taylor. She was born in April 1922 and she died in January 2024. Her age was 101 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Ruth Ashton Taylor was a pioneering broadcast journalist who broke significant barriers for women in the news industry. She was the first female newscaster on the West Coast and one of the first women hired for the national CBS News team by Edward R. Murrow. Her career spanned over 50 years, during which she covered major historical events and earned numerous awards for her reporting. William O'Connell. He was born in May 1929 and he died in January 2024. His age was 94 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. William Bill O'Connell was a prolific character actor, known for his distinctive, often eccentric, on-screen presence. He appeared in numerous films directed by Clint Eastwood, including High Plains Drifter and Any Which Way You Can. Sci-fi fans remember him for his memorable role as the Klingon Silev in the classic Star Trek episode Journey to Babel. Bill Hayes. He was born in June 1925 and he died in January 2024. His age was 98 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Bill Hayes was a beloved American actor and singer whose career spanned over 7 decades. In the 1950s, he was a pop star with the #1 hit, The Ballad of Davy Crockett. He was best known to millions as the patriarch Doug Williams on the NBC soap opera Days of Our Lives, a role he played for over 50 years, often starring opposite his real-life wife, Susan Seaforth Hayes. Tom Shields. He was born in November 1944 and he died in January 2024. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from COVID-19 and renal failure. Tom Shields was a Pulitzer Prize-winning American television critic, widely regarded as one of the most influential voices in his field. For over 3 decades, he served as a chief television critic for The Washington Post, where his witty, insightful, and often scathing reviews shaped public opinion. His work earned him the 1988 Pulitzer Prize for criticism. Joel Sonnier. He was born in October 1946 and he died in January 2024. His age was 77 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Joel Sonnier was a Grammy Award-winning Cajun and country music artist renowned for his masterful accordion playing and soulful vocals. He was a key figure in bringing the sounds of Louisiana to a mainstream audience, blending traditional Cajun music to country and rock. He's best known for his hit songs Tear-Stained Letter and No More One More Time. Jerry Coker, he was born in November 1932 and he died in January 2024. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Jerry Coker was a highly respected jazz saxophonist, educator, and author who profoundly influenced jazz education. He was an early pioneer in formalizing jazz studies at the university level, helping to establish programs across the country. His instructional books, particularly Patterns of Jazz, became essential texts for aspiring jazz musicians worldwide. Mo Henry, she was born in April 1956 and she died in January 2024. Her age was 67 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death were complications from liver failure. Margaret Mo Henry was a legendary negative cutter in Hollywood, a crucial and highly skilled artisan in the era of physical film. She worked on hundreds of iconic films including Jaws, The Matrix, The Wild Bunch, and Dirty Harry, ensuring the final film print precisely matched the director's vision. Her unseen work was fundamental to the final look of countless cinematic masterpieces. April Ferry, she was born in October 1932 and she died in January 2024. Her age was 91 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. April Ferry was an Oscar-nominated and Emmy-winning costume designer with a distinguished career in film and television. She received an Academy Award nomination for her work on the film Maverick and won an Emmy for the HBO series Rome. She was also a principal costume designer for Season 5 and 6 of the global phenomenon Game of Thrones. Howard Waldrop, he was born in September 1946 and he died in January 2024. His age was 77 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from a stroke. Howard Waldrop was a Nebula and World Fantasy Award-winning science fiction author celebrated for his unique and quirky style. He was a master of the short story format, known for blending meticulously researched historical facts with wildly imaginative speculative fiction. His most famous work, the novelette The Ugly Chickens, won both the Nebula and World Fantasy Awards. Francis F. Lee, he was born in January 1927 and he died in January 2024. His age was 96 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was renal failure. Dr. Francis F. Lee was a pioneering engineer and inventor who founded Lexicon, a company that became synonymous with digital reverb and audio effects. As a professor at MIT, he made significant contributions to computer science before developing the first commercially available digital audio delay system. Lexicon's technology revolutionized music recording and sound production. Nancy Deloy Fitzroy, she was born in October 1927 and she died in January 2024. Her age was 96 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Nancy Deloy Fitzroy was a trailblazing American mechanical engineer specializing in heat transfer. She was the first woman to head a major professional engineering society in the United States, serving as president of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. Throughout her long career at General Electric, she broke numerous gender barriers in a male-dominated field. She was one of the first female helicopter pilots. Brian Boxick, he was born in September 1969 and he died in January 2024. His age was 54 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pancreatic cancer. Brian Boxick was a world-famous reptile enthusiast and conservationist who shared his passion with millions via his popular YouTube channel. He founded the Reptarian Reptile Zoo in Michigan, offering hands-on experience with exotic animals. He was known for his infectious enthusiasm and starred on the Discovery Channel's Venom Hunters, leaving a legacy of wildlife education. Tom Purdom, he was born in April 1936 and he died in January 2024. His age was 87 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Thomas Tom Purdom was a versatile science fiction author and music critic. He was a regular contributor to a variety of science fiction magazines for over 6 decades, known for his thoughtful and character-driven stories. In addition to his fiction, he was a respected classical music critic in Philadelphia, demonstrating a lifelong passion for both science and the arts. Brent Sycamore, he was born in August 1948 and he died in January 2024. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was homicide. Brent Sycamore was a prominent and highly respected contemporary art dealer and the founder of influential New York City gallery Sycamore Jenkins & Co. He was celebrated for his discerning eye and for championing the careers of major artists like Kara Walker and Vic Muniz. His life was tragically cut short when he was murdered at his home. Gonzalo Lira, he was born in February 1968 and he died in January 2024. His age was 55 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from pneumonia and collapsed lung. Gonzalo Lira was a Chilean-American novelist, filmmaker, and controversial social media personality who gained notoriety for his pro-Russian commentary during the war in Ukraine. He was arrested by the Ukrainian authorities on charges of justifying Russia's invasion and died while in custody. His death drew international attention and criticism from figures who championed him as a free speech advocate. Joseph Zadroga, he was born in April 1947 and he died in January 2024. His age was 76 at the time of his death, and he was killed after being overrun by an SUV in a hospital parking lot. Joseph Zadroga was a relentless advocate for the rights of 9/11 first responders. Inspired by the death of his son, NYPD detective James Zadroga, he fought tirelessly to secure federal health care and compensation for those suffering from illness related to the toxic dust at Ground Zero. His efforts were instrumental in the passage of the James Zadroga 9/11 Health and Compensation Act. John Red Eagle, he was born in September 1948 and he died in January 2024. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. John Red Eagle was a prominent leader of the Osage Nation, serving its 35th principal chief from 2010 to 2014. His tenure was marked by efforts to implement the nation's new constitution and manage its minerals estate. His leadership period was also a time of significant political turmoil, culminating in his removal from office by the Osage Nation Congress. Sekou Odinga, he was born in June 1944 and he died in January 2024. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Sekou Odinga was a prominent and lifelong activist in the Black Liberation Movement. He was a member of the Black Panther Party and later the Black Liberation Army, fighting against racial injustice and for black self-determination. He was convicted of charges related to the 1981 Brinks robbery and served 33 years in federal and state prisons before being released on parole. John V. Byrne, he was born in May 1928 and he died in January 2024. His age was 95 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. John V. Byrne was an esteemed marine geologist who served as the 12th president of Oregon State University. His leadership significantly expanded the university's research profile and academic standing. Prior to his tenure at Oregon State University, he was appointed by President Ronald Reagan to serve as the administrator of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. James D. Hughes, he was born in July 1922 and he died in January 2024. His age was 101 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. James D. Hughes was a highly decorated four-star general in the United States Air Force, a command pilot with a distinguished career spanning World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. He served as a chief military aide to Vice President Spiro Agnew and President Richard Nixon. He later became the Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Air Forces. Alan Jones. He was born in March 1940 and he died in January 2024. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Alan Jones was a British and American Episcopal priest and Dean Emeritus of Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, a prominent lecturer in Episcopal and academic circles both nationally and internationally. He was a prolific writer of books, articles, and editorial opinions. Ted Blunt. He was born in March 1943 and he died in January 2024. His age was 80 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Theodore Ted Blunt was a respected educator and influential political figure in Wilmington, Delaware. He served for 2 decades on the Wilmington City Council, including 8 years as its president, becoming a powerful advocate for the city's residents. Before his political career, he was a beloved teacher, coach, and school administrator for 30 years. Larry E. Haynes. He was born in April 1938 and he died in January 2024. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Larry E. Haynes was an American politician who was a Republican member of the Maryland Senate from 1991 to 2011. Haynes was a real estate broker and an appraiser and was a former dairy farmer. In 1975, he received the Realtor of the Year award by the Carroll County Association of Realtors. Ron Suster. He was born in October 1942 and he died in January 2024. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Ronald Ron Suster was a dedicated public servant from Ohio who served as a state representative, a state senator, and a common pleas court judge. As a Democratic legislator, he was known for his work on criminal justice reform and consumer protection. He later served for many years on the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas, where he was a respected jurist. John Barnes Jr. He was born in August 1931 and he died in January 2024. His age was 92 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. John Barnes Jr. was an American politician who served in the New Hampshire Senate for the 17th District from 1992 to 1998 and again from 2000 to 2012. A member of the Republican Party, he previously served as a member of the New Hampshire House of Representatives from 1988 until 1992. Bert Harrelson. He was born in June 1944 and he died in January 2024. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from Alzheimer's disease. Darrell McKinley Bert Harrelson was a beloved shortstop and a key member of the 1969 Miracle Mets World Series championship team. Renowned for his exceptional defense, he was a 2-time All-Star and a gritty leader on the field. After his playing days, he remained a part of the Mets organization as a coach and later managed the team in 1990 and 1991. Claire Waters Ferguson. She was born in September 1935 and she died in January 2024. Her age was 88 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Claire Waters Ferguson was an American figure skating official and judge who was the president of the United States Figure Skating Association from 1992 to 1995. In 1992, Ferguson became the first woman in the 75-year history of the United States Figure Skating Association to be named its president. Ferguson was president during the 1994 Winter Olympics and the Nancy Kerrigan-Tonya Harding incident. Ferguson was also the first woman elected into the International Federation of Figure Skaters. Art Baker. He was born in November 1929 and he died in January 2024. His age was 94 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Arthur Art Baker was a respected college football coach and administrator, primarily in the southeastern United States. He served as the head football coach at Furman University, the Citadel, and the East Carolina University. He was known for his integrity and his positive influence on the lives of the student athletes he mentored over his long career. Jerry Hilgenberg. He was born in April 1931 and he died in January 2024. His age was 92 at the time of his death, and a reason for his death was undisclosed. Jerry Hilgenberg was a legendary center for the University of Iowa Hawkeyes football team and a College Football Hall of Fame inductee. He was a consensus first-team All-American in 1953 and was known for his exceptional skill and leadership on the offensive line. He was a patriarch of a notable football family, with several sons and grandsons also playing the sport at a high level. Norm Snead. He was born in July 1939 and he died in January 2024. His age was 84 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Norm Snead was a durable and talented quarterback who played 16 seasons in the National Football League for 5 different teams, a 4-time Pro Bowl selection. He was the second overall pick in the 1961 NFL Draft. He was known for his strong arm and for being one of the league's top passers during the 1960s and early 1970s. Ronald Powell. He was born in May 1991 and he died in January 2024. His age was 32 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Ronald Powell was a former American football linebacker who was a standout player at the University of Florida. Hailed as the nation's #1 high school recruit, his promising college career was hampered by injuries. He was drafted by the New Orleans Saints in the 2014 NFL Draft and played briefly in the league before his career was cut short. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.